All right, so I'm going to use my marker so you can see my work better. At the bottom of your paper, I would like you to draw a big curve. So I'll show you in a second. Make sure everyone's muted so we can hear really good. So near the bottom of your paper, I'd like you to draw a big arc near the bottom. This is going to be our polar bear's head. Show me with your fingers up to the video, how many ears does a polar bear have? How many ears does a polar bear have? Good. 2. So I'm going to do a curve on the left, a curve on the right. 2 ears for my polar bear. So please draw that now. So we're only showing the top of our polar bear's head. All right, now we're just going to draw another smaller curve inside each ear for the inside of our polar bear's ear. All right, so right in the middle, we're going to draw our polar bear's nose. So we'll create the snout, but first I'm going to make the nose. So I can just make an oval or a circle. And it will be colored in black. You can wait to color it in with crayons or markers. I'll use my marker right now. All right, after the nose, I'm going to draw a vertical line down for the snout. So it's just nose, line, and you can either draw a smile or you can make 2 bumps like a flat W. So I'm going to make the 2 bumps. I'm going to curve up and then out. So it's kind of just like a bumpy W. All right, and next we're going to need to add some eyes. So whenever you're done the snout, we're going to add some eyes above. All right, so I'm going to put an eye above the snout. You can make your eyes however you want. I'm going to make these tall ovals, and then I'm going to make it look like my polar bear is looking up at the northern lights. So I'm going to make a curve at the top of my shape and then color in around it. This will give the idea that my polar bear is kind of looking up. But you could draw your eyes however. So the next thing, I know if you have room, I'm going to put a scarf under the neck. If you don't want to do this, that's okay, or you can try to fit it. I'm just going to draw one line under the mouth. Then I'm going to draw vertical lines.
Okay, now you're all going.
All right, so now I'm drawing vertical lines because I'm going to end up coloring a pattern. Maybe I'll make them a little thicker so it matches because I made a little mistake. That's okay. And then get any 2 coloring supplies, or if you have another pattern in mind, and we will color in our scarf. So the only thing we need to do right now is color in our scarf, and then the ears a little bit pink inside. You can use markers, crayons, color pencils, twistables, whatever you have. If you don't have coloring supplies, you can just use your pencil to shade in. I'll give my polar bear some cold pink cheeks. You don't have to do that. going to pick 2 colors for my scarf. If you want more colors, that's fine. Just try to make a pattern. When you're done coloring your scarf, if you have a second piece of paper, that's when we're going to cut out our polar bear. If you don't have a second piece of paper, just leave your polar bear on this paper, because we can color in the sky. Otherwise, we can cut him out and glue him or her to another piece. All right, so I'm going to cut mine out, but like I said, you can keep yours put. I'm just careful when you cut around the ear. Don't cut off the ears. Go around. So the next step would be to glue it to your next paper if you have it. So if you have a separate piece of paper, this is when you would glue it. You would just glue your polar bear to the bottom of the next paper. And we want the sky nice and tall because the Aurora Borealis, that's our main focus. Because this way, yes, we could, it would still look good, but this way, that way we have a lot of paper for a nice, beautiful sky. All right, so I'm going to make sure I flip over my polar bear. Because my polar bear is a little bit smaller than my paper, I want to make sure I get the glue right. And my paper is very thin, so if I went back and forth with my glue, it's going to rip this polar bear paper. So I'm going to flip them and stick them down near the bottom. And if you don't have extra paper, no biggie. Leave it on that paper you had. So the next step, we're going to just draw the northern lights. So gather whatever coloring supplies in whatever colors you want to make your northern lights. We saw lots of greens. We talked about some pink. I know I saw some orange. And it doesn't matter if you use markers, again, crayons, color pencils. Grab some purple. So whatever colors you want in your Aurora Borealis sky. There's usually a lot of green. So what you can do is draw like a wavy line across your sky. And it can be thick, it can be thin. But it doesn't have to be super smooth because it is just the lights dancing in the sky. So I have my wavy line, I'm coloring around it. A lot of times we saw the lights shooting up. So if you make these vertical lines, almost looks like fire, but it's green, like green fire in the sky. Whatever whatever comes to mind. Or you can just put colors in the sky and just make it really, really colorful. So just think of these wavy lines dancing in the night sky. Add some blue. And if you're using white paper, that's okay. You can just color the paper around to make the sky a different color. So you might need to use a little bit more blue. Green and yellow work nice together because they do mix well. And you can always use a white crayon to make stars in the sky if you have the colored paper. If you don't, you can use maybe like if you have a silver or a gray. So they're only seen at night, and it's got to kind of be near the North Pole to see the aurora borealis. And polar bears are only found at the North Pole.